Hi everyone, my name is Amber, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my massive Goodreads TBR. So I'm putting together a TBR for the Goodreads Choice Awards. I'm not doing a kind of project where I try to read every single book in one particular genre or category, just because I don't want to buy a whole bunch of books, and I know that sounds very strange coming from me. I need to be sensible. So what I am going to do is I'm going to try and read as many books as I can from my own physical TBR that I already owned prior to the Goodreads Choice Awards being announced, and there are also some books that I got from the library as well. So I'm going to go through every category and talk about which books I'll be reading from it. There may be a couple that I feel like buying, but they'll be sort of lowest priority. If I get through this pile, then I might try and acquire a couple of others. So starting off with fiction, there aren't actually any on here that I already own, so I'm going to skip this category entirely. But the ones I'm most interested in are Mame. I've been interested in that one since it came out, I think in January or February, but I just didn't pick it up because I don't really buy much literary fiction unless I find it in the charity shop. Pineapple Street sounds quite good. Big Swiss also sounds very intriguing, and also Shark Heart, so I might get my hands on one of those. I don't really want to read Yellowface all that much because I didn't love The Poppy War. I know it's a completely different book, completely different genre, but I don't know, I just don't really feel like reading it, but maybe I will one day. I need to put these books down one second, they're really heavy. So for historical fiction, I've already read River Sing Me Home, so I do have one that I could vote for in this category, but I didn't love it. I gave it like 3.5 stars, which is alright. So I do want to get my hands on a couple of others. I've already have one, which is The Covenant of Water. It says that this one's set in South India, spanning the years 1900 to 1977. This book follows a family in southern India that suffers a peculiar affliction. In every generation, at least one person dies by drowning. So I wanted to read this one before it was picked or nominated for the Goodreads Choice Awards. The awards made me finally want to, you know, try and pick it up, except it's enormous. I didn't realise this was so big. I do think it's going to be quite a quick read, but it's over 700 pages long, and I've already read some quite chunky books in November already. I don't know, we'll see how this one goes. I am very intrigued by it, and I love generational fiction, so I definitely want to pick this one up. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to finish it by the time the winners are announced. Otherwise, on this list, there's also Did You Hear About Kitty Carr, which I think sounds really interesting. I do have access to that one as an ebook. Wayward sounds fairly intriguing, but I'm not like dying to read it. I think that's about it from this category that like I definitely want to get my hands on. And then we have mystery thriller, which I have actually already read quite a few books from. I spoke about this in my reaction video. I've already read All the Dangerous Things, which I really enjoyed. I gave this one 4 stars, I think, and I loved What Lies in the Woods. I gave this one 5 stars because I love Kate Alice Marshall's writing. And then I also have a ton of these books on my TBR. On my physical TBR, I've got The Villa, Out from the Library by Rachel Hawkins. I started this one a while back, but I didn't finish it, so I'm going to restart it and try again. So this one I think is set in Italy, and it's about a complicated relationship between 2 women, and Rachel Hawkins writes really good books about that topic, and she's also an author that I've previously enjoyed, so I already had this one out from the library. And then I also already had out I Have Some Questions For You. This is a different cover to the US, obviously. This one I've heard isn't great. I've heard really mixed things about it, so I'm a bit nervous, which is why I haven't picked it up yet, even though I've had it out for ages. But now that it's been nominated, I'm going to try my best to pick it up. I also have Happiness Falls as an ebook now. I didn't previously own this because I've pre-ordered the UK edition. I couldn't get my hands on the US hardback, but I could get the ebook, so I've gotten that now, so I'm going to read that. I also might read the new Alice Feeney, Good Bad Girl, and I've requested Bright Young Women and None of This Is True from the library, so those should be arriving soon. I think None of This Is True is on its way, and then I'm just waiting for someone to give up their hold of Bright Young Women. So I should have read a good mixture of this category. I don't think there are any others that I'm like dying to read from here other than the ones I've just mentioned. Maybe Homecoming by Kate Morton, but I don't think I can fit that one in. And then for romance, I have already read The 7-Year Slip and Love Theoretically. I also really want to read Yours Truly, and I found this in the library when I went there yesterday. So I'm really happy that I picked this one up. Really happy that I visited the library because I really enjoyed Abby Jimenez's previous book, and this is the follow-on companion book following Brianna, who is the main character from the first one's best friend. So I'm going to read this one probably first because I'm really excited for it. I don't think there's anything else here that I really want to pick up. A lot of these are sequels or companion books, and I haven't read the first one. So yeah, I think this will be it for the romance category. And then we've got Romantasy, the new genre. I've only read Fourth Wing from this list, but I do have 2 books on my TBR. The first one is Assistant to the Villain, which is by the same imprint as Fourth Wing. So this has been going around TikTok quite a bit. Don't know what this one's about, actually. It says, Assistant Wanted, Notorious High-Ranking Villain Seeks Loyal, Level-Headed Assistant for Unspecified office duties. Yeah, I don't really know, but I've heard good things about it, and this is the first book in a new series. And I also already own The Jazz Air. I bought this one a little while back because I went to an event where I met the author and she signed it for me. I thought this one was just plain fantasy, but apparently not. It's in the romantasy genre, so I'm going to try my hardest to read this one as well. I think this is Egyptian inspired fantasy, I think she said, which I often really enjoy, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. As for the others, I think these are probably going to be the only 2 books I read from this category this time around, just because I'm not really sure about any of the others. I've not really heard of many of them, Some of them are sequels. I've heard of The Foxglove King, but I've not heard great things about this author's other books. I own Hannah Witton's other book actually, but I haven't read it yet because people keep putting me off. I also really want to read The Hurricane Wars, but that's not been getting very many good reviews as of late, so I'm not sure about that. And I want to read the first Crowns of Nixia book, which is like Serpent and the Wings of Night or something like that, but the sequel is on this list, so obviously it wouldn't count. So yeah, there are some on here that I'm interested in, but nothing that is jumping out at me immediately, and I don't really want to buy any more romantasy books right now. And then we have the fantasy category. I've already read and voted for The Adventures of Mina al-Sarafi. It was the only one on this list that I have read, but I loved it so much so that I've got 2 editions of it, but it's honestly a wonderful book, so I'd highly recommend reading this if you haven't already. This is Middle Eastern pirate historical fantasy, and it's honestly amazing. Please read it. There are a couple more on here that I am interested in. I really want to read The Unmaking of June Farrow. Bookshops and Bone Dust, I'm kind of on the fence about. I really enjoyed Legends and Lattes, but I don't know if this is just going to be like more of the same. So someone tell me if you've read both, if I would enjoy Bookshops and Bone Dust and if it's still worth reading. And I want to read Clytemnestra. I might try and get my hands on that one before the awards are over. But I did find Victory City by Salman Rushdie in the library when I went there yesterday. So yeah, I'm going to give this one a go. This is also set in India, I think. 14th century southern India. And then it spans 250 years. There's magic, power, all sorts of stuff. So I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. I'm really glad that I found it in the library. I didn't have to reserve it. And then for sci-fi, have I read any of these? I can't remember what I said. I have Some Desperate Glory on my shelf, which, yeah, I don't have that with me, but it is in my house. I own it. So I started that and I got about 50 pages in and I'm very intrigued. So I'm looking forward to reading that one, definitely. I also have Children of Memory, but I haven't read the second book yet, and I don't think I can manage to read both of these in a month. So I probably won't be reading that one. I do have Chain Gang All-Stars reserved at the library. That one just is waiting for someone else to give it up so I can get my hands on that one. I have Bridge from NetGalley, so I could read that. I really want to read The Jimbot of Shantiport. I can get that as an ebook. I can also get The Light Pirate as an ebook if I want to, and The Deep Sky. So I've got some options here if I'm in the mood for them. As for horror, I've already read How to Sell a Haunted House, and I have picked up Vampires of El Norte. This was originally for a different video concept, but I think I might just read it this month for my Goodreads video instead. This is historical fiction set in Mexico, I think, and I think it's more historical than vampire horror, but I'm still interested in reading it. I also have Sisters of the Lost Nation on Kindle, so I may read that one. I also have The Reformatory, or I can get The Reformatory. I don't own that one yet, and I kind of want to read The September House. So there are some options here as well if I feel like reading them. I'm definitely going to read Vampires of El Norte, but that's it from my like definitely list so far. YA, sci-fi and fantasy is next. I really want to read Delicious Monsters. I've already read Foxglove, which I have up here. This is the sequel to Belladonna. It was really good, but not as good as the first book, so I won't be voting for this one because it's not like amazing. And I have already read Spice Road, neither of which I loved, so I have gotten my hands on Divine Rivals. I was going to have to read this anyway because I really want to recap it for Recap Tins, and if it's like a really in-depth, intricate book, I might recap it on my channel as well. Let me know if you want me to do that. So this one I'll for sure be reading very soon. I also have Powerless from NetGalley, so I might get to that one, and I want to read A Study in Drowning. As for YA fiction, I don't think there are any on here that I really am dying to read. I've already read Five Survive by Holly Jackson, which I enjoyed, and Suddenly a Murder, which was rubbish. The other ones that I'm interested in are The Brothers Hawthorne, mainly for a video and a recap. I want to read Warrior Girl Unearthed because I've really enjoyed this author before. Together We Rot, One of Us is Back is the final book in that trilogy, and I've got it from NetGalley, but I don't know if I want to read it this month. Yeah, that's that one. And I think that's all of the categories that I have something on my TBR for, or at least from the library. Let me know if you think I should get my hands on any of the others going by what I have said that I enjoy reading. I think I've probably got my hands full with this TBR because it's enormous, and I really want to try to get through as many of them as I can so that I can properly vote. I'm obviously not going to make it to reading all of these by the time these finalists come about, but I think most of these have a good chance of making it to the final round, so I can vote then. But regardless, these are all books that I was interested in anyway, so I don't feel like I'm wasting my time or money. These awards are just kind of giving me a kick up the backside to finally read them, which is always appreciated. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm going to do a vlog reading the books that I decide to read for the Goodreads Choice Awards, and then I'll post it in December, I think. I don't know how many I'm going to read yet. Like I said, I don't know how much I'm going to enjoy all of them, but I do have a good selection here, so I'm very excited, and I do quite enjoy challenging myself like this. I'm glad I'm not doing just one particular genre though, because I think I would get burnt out if I didn't have a mixture of things going on. So as a quick recap, before these books fall all over the place again, I've got some historical fiction here, some thrillers, romance, romantasy, YA books, some horror, and I'm really looking forward to reading all of them. Might try and get my hands on some fiction, like I said, because I think that's the only thing that I'm really missing here. So we'll see how this goes. If you feel like it, if you're trying to read any Goodreads Choice Awards books, let me know in the comments down below. Tell me which ones of these you've already read, which ones you'll be voting for. I'd be very interested to know. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you all in the next video. Bye!